every month that you buy car insurance, or every quarter, or every year, you're hoping you never have to collect on that insurance. But let's assume I'm selling you car insurance, right? You're hoping it expires worthless. So I'm making money, and you're spending money, but I'm going to insure against your loss. So if you never use it, it expires worthless, and then you renew it, right? So you don't exercise your insurance, right? So that's all an option is on the market, which is the same thing, only they're designed for the market. So I could buy or sell these things. We could protect against cars and houses or portfolios. So it's just designed to protect money. That's where they were built. That's why they exist. You can buy and sell them. They're mathematically perfect. So what do I mean, Jeannie, what do I mean by mathematically perfect? Well, let's use the analogy of the car or the house. You have $1 million home, you buy insurance. You know that if something should happen to your home and you have a loss of $100,000, that your insurance is going to give you $100,000. So June, same thing. If you have $1 million portfolio and your portfolio drops 10%, I know exactly that insurance is going to give you 10%. So it's mathematically perfect. There's no variation. I can mathematically calculate how much I'm going to protect and how much it's going to cost. There's cost and there's protection, right? Okay, but that's simple. We can buy or sell insurance. What does that mean? Susan, that's pretty simple. All that means is that you could become the seller of insurance to me, or I could buy it. So on an exchange, you could decide to sell insurance to protect someone's portfolio, or I could buy insurance to protect my portfolio. Okay, so it's both ways. Now, if you think about something for a second, the companies and the biggest companies, if I think about the cities around the country, the biggest buildings tend to be insurance buildings, and banks, right? They seem to be the biggest in every city. In fact, if you go to Las Vegas, really what they're doing is they're selling insurance, aren't they? They're selling risk, aren't they? So the casinos are always the biggest. The insurance companies are always the biggest. Because why? Because it's very profitable to sell insurance. Okay? Because a lot of people want protection because everybody wants to cover fear, right? It's all about fear and protecting fear. Now, over the counter, that private transaction, that AIG example I used, unfortunately, there's no exchange to regulate. In fact, Frank Dodd, does want to put more of these tools on an exchange, and I am in favor of that. Okay, so with an exchange, we have orderly markets. These are the only type of things that we do at our firm. We only deal with exchange-traded options. Okay, now, what's interesting is Warren Buffett has actually said this statement, but most people don't know he's one of the number one users of what we do at our firm. He is one of the number one users of these exchange-traded options in the world, or one of the top users of exchange-traded options. Well, that's phenomenal, because what my attitude is if Warren Buffett is doing it, don't you think we should do it? Because he's probably the smartest investor of the 21st century. So all we're doing is what Warren Buffett's doing. So people say, well, what are you doing? Is this new? No, we're just doing what Buffett's doing. In fact, Buffett just bought a railroad by selling fully protected cash secure puts on the S&P 500. That's what he did, which is not too different than what we're doing. So if Warren Buffett's doing it, let's do what Warren's doing.